Hello children, let's continue with the features of Indian Constitution. In our previous video, we have seen about the preamble and directive principles of state policy. In this video, we are going to see the next feature, fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the basic permissions or freedom that is given by the Indian Constitution for Indian citizens. Right to equality. Right to equality ensures equal rights for all the Indian citizens. There should be no inequality based on caste, religion, place of birth, status, gender, language, etc. Right to freedom. Right to freedom provides us with various rights. Rights are freedom of speech. You can talk and give your voice for anything. Freedom of expression. We can express our own opinions on anything. Freedom of assembly without arms. Without having any weapons, we are having the permission or freedom to assemble in any place. We can move anywhere throughout our country. Freedom of movement. Freedom of association. We can form associations for any purpose. Freedom to practice any profession. We are having the right to follow our own path. Freedom to reside any part of country. So you can stay in any part of the country. Right against exploitation. See, exploitation means misusing something. Right against exploitation highly prohibits human trafficking. Human trafficking means where a situation where humans are being kidnapped and they will be sent outside the country as slaves. Child labor, forced labor, making it an offence punishable by law. Also, no organization is allowed to force an employee to work without a wage or a salary, unless it is for any public purpose like social services committee, community services or NGO like that, etc. So, right to freedom of religion guarantees religious freedom and ensures secular state in India. It means the Indian citizens have the right or full freedom to follow any religion of their own choice. And the Constitution also says that we should treat all the religions equally. And no state has an official religion. Right to cultural and education. Cultural and education rights protects the rights of cultural, religious and linguistic minorities by enabling them to conserve their heritage and protecting them against discrimination. So, the Constitution allows us to conserve our heritage, language, culture, tradition against any discrimination. Educational rights ensures education for everybody irrespective of caste, gender, religion, etc. Right to constitutional remedies. If anyone doesn't allow us to implement our fundamental rights, then we have the right to go to the Supreme Court of India for protecting our fundamental rights. Fundamental duties. All rights always come with certain duties. These duties are not at all enforced by law, but all the citizens should follow it faithfully for the betterment of our country. Some of the fundamental duties are: we have to respect our national flag, national anthem. Then we have to follow the ideals of Indian Constitution. We have to inculcate the noble ideas of our great freedom fighters. We have to avoid violence in public places. We have to safeguard the public resources. We have to render national service whenever possible. Thus, our ultimate duty is to work for the betterment of the nation or our country. Federal structure of the government. See, India governs at 3 different levels. One at the national level. It is also called as union level or country level. Next is the state level or region level. Third is the local level. Okay, we are having national government, state government and the local government. This separation of powers is for the sake of administration, because we all know that if there is a person appointed for the entire country, that particular person won't be able to administer all the entire population. That is why we are having various levels. This kind of levels for the sake of administration is called as a federal structure of the government. Parliamentary government. In a parliamentary form of government, there will be a head of the state. That head of the state is called as a president. Though the decisions are taken in head's name, that is the president's name, the real power lies in the hands of the prime minister. Prime minister and council of members. The council of members assist the prime minister in taking decisions. So, the real power lies in the hands of prime minister and the council of ministers. Hence, India is a parliamentary democracy. We have three branches in the parliamentary democracy. They are the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. Legislator will be making laws. They will legislate or make the laws. Executive will ensure whether the people are following the laws. Judiciary will punish the people if anybody breaks the laws. Thus, these are the three branches of parliamentary democracy. Thank you.